your big story breakdown.
It's amazing to see how much we've accomplished together over the last 7 years. The state of our state is the strongest it's ever been.
In tonight's big story breakdown, we are keeping up with the Capitol. The legislative session is now underway after the governor delivered his final State of the State address. As Fox 25's Capitol reporter Paige Taylor explains, he highlighted some of his successes and his goals for lawmakers this year.
To my fellow Oklahomans, it's been the honor of my lifetime to serve as your governor.
The governor laying out several things he'd like to see the legislature tackle during his final session as governor. The governor says when the state voted to legalize medical marijuana in 2018, the state was sold a bill of goods.
And knowing what we know now, it's time to let Oklahomans bring safety and sanity back to their neighborhoods. Send the marijuana issue back to a vote of the people, and let's shut it down.
When it comes to education, Governor Stitt is floating the idea of the state superintendent being appointed instead of elected.
38 other states appoint their superintendent rather than electing them. It keeps the focus on outcomes instead of politics.
Stitt also calling for the elimination of the Oklahoma Secondary Schools Activities Association.
Last year, we heard stories of students who followed the rules, did everything right to transfer schools, and yet the OSSAA denied them the chance to play basketball at their new school. Their parents had to hire a lawyer and go to court just so their kids could get to play at their new school. That's unacceptable.
Governor Stitt also wanting to eliminate the cap on the parental choice tax credit.
Let the money follow the student. Put parents in charge. Encourage competition and excellence.
The governor leaving Oklahomans with these words in his final State of the State address.
We have a rendezvous with destiny. Let's grab it with the tenacity and grit that sets us apart as Oklahomans. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless the great state of Oklahoma. Let's have a great 26.
Paige Taylor, Fox 25 News.
We are seeing a ton of reaction tonight to the governor's address. You heard one of his goals to put the marijuana issue back on the ballot, to shut it down, saying the passage of medical marijuana in 2018 opened Pandora's box. The author of State Question 788 says this was not done by out-of-state activists and believes the Stitt administration is completely responsible for the state of the industry. Chip Paul says he looks forward to discussing the absurdity of this suggestion with lawmakers, since they hold the power to make changes, not the governor. The governor also calling for the Oklahoma Secondary School Activities Association to be eliminated. We asked the OSSAA for their response to the governor's statement. The association says every major decision, policy, and rule is shaped by Oklahoma schools. The executive director, David Jackson, says while they're disappointed the governor didn't reach out to them to learn how the OSSAA operates, they welcome the opportunity to visit with him at any time and would be happy to help him understand the work their schools do collectively to support students across the state. Governor calling on the legislature to fight for one Oklahoma and to come together to protect the vision cast in 1907.
We need to stop any effort to federalize half of our state. That's why it's so important that we elect men and women of integrity. And I want to make a few truths abundantly clear. Number one, all laws should apply equally to all Oklahomans, no exceptions. An Indian named Kevin Stitt shouldn't be treated differently than a single mom of a different race. If you commit a crime in Oklahoma, you should be prosecuted by a duly elected Oklahoma district attorney. You should be tried in an Oklahoma court overseen by a duly elected Oklahoma judge. And you should be protected by the rights laid out in the Oklahoma Constitution. Your race shouldn't call any of these factors into question.
The governor went on to say if you live in Oklahoma and drive on Oklahoma roads and vote in Oklahoma elections, you should not have different tax treatment than any other Oklahoman. So let's get to some reaction to this coming in. The House Tribal and External Affairs leader blasting the governor for those statements, saying the governor made a mockery of our state's unique history. Rep. Scott Fettgatter also called out the governor for, quote, single-handedly destroying decades of collaboration between state and tribal leaders, while saying he has worked tirelessly to maintain unity of one Oklahoma. Fettgatter says he hopes the next governor embraces and respects these sovereigns and their many contributions to the state. The Cherokee Nation's Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr. also weighing in on the governor's statements, saying that Stitt effectively called for the termination of tribal government. Chief Hoskin says the tribes just want to be treated with respect. Education is among the legislature's top priorities for this session, with a focus on reading skills, and the governor touched on that as well.
We know that when you're young, you learn to read. And you grow older, you read to learn. No career pathway program, no workforce initiative, no intervention later in school can succeed if students cannot read well. And too many of our students are not reading at grade level.
Among the possible solutions for improving reading outcomes is holding third graders back, all of them, if they aren't reading at grade level. Legislation has been filed in both the House and Senate, and we'll be tracking those bills as they make their way through the legislative process. The state superintendent also outlining the State Department of Education's legislative agenda, saying this is a reflection of what the agency consistently hears from families and educators. Among the key priorities, safety and technology. OSDE plans to support efforts to extend the school safety grant program, which will currently expire in June. They also support the efforts to create a permanent school cell phone ban policy. The department is also putting a major focus on first-year teacher pay because they say it remains a barrier for drawing people into the profession. Democrats from both chambers voicing concerns with the governor's address. Senator Julia Kirk says he's ignoring some big problems Oklahomans are facing right now.
One of the biggest being our mental health crisis. Our waiting lists are longer than they've ever been. We have a huge criminal backlog, and this is not getting better. We have a child care system that's on the brink of collapse because of a lack of contingency planning and financial planning. So what I want to see is real leadership that steps into the actual problems that Oklahomans are facing, instead of these empty promises that we've seen year after year that do not lead to the results we need to see for the people.
On the House side, Democratic leader Cindy Munson says the governor also failed to present a plan for addressing affordable housing in the state.
We agree that there's a demand for housing. We cannot have more economic growth in the state until we have more affordable housing options for Oklahomans all across our state, and that includes rural Oklahoma. It's not just urban Oklahoma and Oklahoma City and Tulsa, but all across rural Oklahoma. But we still didn't hear a real plan of how we can get that done.
House Democrats did highlight the good the governor has done for criminal justice reform and how he worked with both parties to reduce our prison population. The state of the state isn't the only headline coming out of the Capitol tonight. Days after an email was leaked to Fox 25, we're hearing from Senate Pro Tem Lonnie Paxton about the situation with Senator Shane Jett. Jett accused lawmakers of being drunk in the last days of last year's legislative session. Paxton says Jett is continuing to berate his own party.
Senator Jett has gone on TV, has said multiple things, referred to his entire caucus as trans Republicans, whatever that is. Last night I was sent a video where he's at a town hall of some kind, referring to the entire Senate body as cowards.
Paxton said Jett has been relieved of his duties as vice chair of administrative rules and has been stripped of his presiding office duties. We did also speak with Senator Jett today to get his response.
President Pro Tem Paxton is saying that I just want headlines. And at the end of the day, if I wanted headlines, I'd have called 911 that the Constitution was being violated. Every one of us has sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution. Public intoxication is grounds for impeachment.
Senator Jett argues he presented his evidence to the pro tem months ago, but it was never addressed. And that was your big story breakdown tonight. You can find the full interview with the Senate Pro Tem and a recap of the state of the state on OKCFox.com. You can also scan that QR code on your screen to watch all of our previous big story breakdowns.